As I'm building my digital rig to use with my own band Ola Englund on tour, you know, The Haunted just finished recording their new album, and I need to figure out a live setup for The Haunted. In 2025, The Haunted are going to start playing gigs again now that we have our album being fully released. And I figured I want to change up my rig that I'm using with The Haunted live. I've been using the Quad Cortex or the Nano Cortexes. I've tried the Fender Tone Master Pro as well. And you know, from building this whole digital rig using computers live and all that, since I have this and the digital stuff and the computer is all great for a controlled environment, with The Haunted, maybe I can go the absolute opposite direction and go back to play full-on tube amplifiers. So, technically, I'm going back to real amps. Hell yeah! The problem with tube amplifiers and, you know, the real stuff, and that's definitely something that the digital stuff has a fair advantage of. The digital stuff, you know, like Quad Cortexes and the modelers or computers in that sense, they don't need as much gear as with the tube amplifiers. So you can, you know, make your rig smaller and you can basically fly into a gig with a small Nano Cortex and you'll be fine, you know? But with tube amplifier stuff, it's gonna get heavy and it's gonna get big, you know? A tube amplifier head, that's at least 25 kilos right there. So I figured maybe I can make like a hybrid rig somehow, you know? You get the best of both worlds. You know, I still get to use the tube amplifier with the fast response, and maybe a little bit of digital effects. So for the hybrid stuff, I've been a little bit curious. I mean, I've demoed it on my channel before about the Synergy stuff. Synergy are making official or licensed, I would say, you know, rack versions of amplifiers. So I got me one of these. Look at this. Now this is the Syn 2, which is a rack mount for two Synergy preamp modules. So if you haven't seen my videos on the Synergy stuff, you better go check it out. It's basically preamps of different amplifiers that you load in for a modular system into an amp. And this is a 2-channel rack unit right there in the size of 1 unit, obviously. And I have a bunch of Synergy modules, but I had no idea they actually had a Savage module. So that's also something I got right now. I'm a big fan of the Englund Savage, and with the Haunted, I think the Savage and the Englund stuff is just perfect, to be honest. So I figured for the Haunted live rig, let's do an Englund Savage Synergy tube rig. That's the Englund Savage module right there. I just pop it right in here, like that. And then I can put something else here, for instance. So I'll have the Englund Savage for rhythm or lead, and then I can have something for cleans, or I can have a separate one for lead, for instance. So I don't think I need anything more than that. My setup is fairly simple. So that's the preamp section, but what about the power amp section? Well, I got another product as well from Synergy that I wanted to try. And I know for a fact that this is actually the route that Opeth are doing or going when they play live. They use Synergy rigs. Obviously, they have way more rack space and, you know, money to have big rigs and shit. This is Synergy's power amplifier. Check this out. Oof. Dude, it's heavy. So this right here is a tube. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's a little heavier than I anticipated. This is the Synergy. I think it's a 50-watt tube amplifier right there. You can see the tubes right there. That's 4 606s right there. Oh shit, is it really 50-50? Oh, so it's stereo 50-watt. Okay, so 2 times 50. That might actually be a little overkill for me to have 2 times 50-watt since I'm not doing a stereo rig when I'm touring. So I'll have to rethink that, you know. For me, every kilo counts. So I have to think about something else for that. So take a look at that. Maybe that's something that Synergy can make later, make a smaller power amplifier. But look at this. Here's a tube amplifier rig right there. The preamp section is also full tube. So let's see if I can put it in a rack and yeah, test it out. All right, so there you go. Still have a slot open right there. And now that I have it like this, I'm wondering how it's ventilated. And I can see vents in the front and I see big vents at the back. And I hope that's enough for this. Otherwise I have to get a bigger rack. This is just a test rack, by the way. That's a pretty small tube amplifier right there. All right, let's fire it up, man. I haven't tried the Englund Savage module either, so that's gonna be interesting. I figured since it is a stereo amplifier, I figured I would use 2 cabinets. At the back right here, obviously you have MIDI in and MIDI through right there, but then you also have DI outs. So if I wanted to go into an impulse response or something like that, this thing has an impulse response built into it, but I can route the preamp signal somewhere else if I wanted to. And then a bunch of other, effects loops, sends, shit like that, and that's all MIDI controllable right there. And then, as simple as that, that goes into the power amplifier right there. I figured I will also put in the D-Rect, which is a dual rectifier module. Dude, that sounds great. It's a lot of bass. I mean, that's a sound I will be happy with to use live. Sounds very, very promising. So there it is right there. I mean, it looks fairly badass. And a small package as well. I mean, that's a full-blown 100-watt tube power amplifier right there. Right now it's bridged, so it's full 100-watt right there, 2 watts. I gotta check. How does it feel? Like the whole... It's fine. It's fine. It's just like a regular tube amplifier. So hell yeah, man. I mean, it could be the start of my new rig right there. I'm going to experiment a little bit more with the different modules and all that, and probably need to get a bigger rack as well. I mean, having this and then coupled with the Fractal VP4, which is a very small of an effects unit, I think this could be like an insanely small... a very, very small traveling tube amplifier rig for me for the Haunted. So, dude, I'm excited as hell. Right now, I'm out on tour with a fully digital touring rig. And while that's also an incredible setup and all that, I still, want the response of a tube amplifier. You get that direct response when you plug in a guitar into an amplifier. I mean, it's something different, man. You got to feel it. You feel it, So there you go. The start of something really cool. Another touring rig, but for the Haunted, maybe. Very cool. Thank you.